marketing in the present, and we really having conversations with amazing individuals, which she will share a bit about herself now in a few seconds. And we're really wanting to tap into their knowledge and experience in terms of marketing, digital marketing trends, what is happening out there in the market, and how businesses and entrepreneurs can navigate during this time. So thank you so much, Tutsirai, for joining me today.
Sure, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
And I think it's fitting to for you to maybe share a bit about yourself and who you are. I thought I'll do the introduction, but I think I won't do justice. So please share with us a bit about yourself. Who are you? The name of your company, your experiences, and how you adding value out there in the market.
All right, thank you so much, Lucian. I hope I said that well.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, I've been practicing, so I hope it came out well. But thank you so much for this opportunity. Firstly, I know we met on social media, but of course on a platform, LinkedIn, and we've been following each other, and it's been great even just to watch your journey. So I'm really excited to get to talk to you today. But in a nutshell, I basically do brand building. I help businesses and individuals to be able to create signature legacy brands that sell. I always say signature because obviously everyone is unique in their own way, whether they're selling a product or personally. And then I say legacy because if you're trying to build a brand that's going to be in use 25 years and beyond, I love working with brands like that. So I obviously help them gain confidence to step out into their markets with beautifully designed graphics because I'm a graphic designer. And then I also help them set up digital solutions that help them catch the attention of their ideal clients. So anything that allows them to basically look at the client's journey, anything that allows them to catch the attention of the ideal clients. So obviously you're looking at the digital spaces that we have, and then we also help them set up, customer service type of products that help them just to ensure that that client's journey is done well. And as a result, obviously builds their brands. So I think in a nutshell, that's what I do. Anything to do with brand building, I'm basically alive and I'm good to go. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I pretty much do. And yeah, I'm a human being like everyone else. I'm happily married, a mommy of four amazing boys. And in a nutshell, that is all about to thrive, stay in Zimbabwe, and basically have access to the global village as we know it. So yeah, I think that is me in a nutshell, Lucian.
Lovely, and thank you for that introduction. And I want to touch on something that you mentioned, key words that came through very strongly during your intro is brand building. And I would like you to touch on that quickly for a few seconds, just to share with
Sure.
us why is it really important to focus on building a brand and to focus on that aspect. Often I engage with the business owners and entrepreneurs, and they don't really see the value of building a brand first. But why would you say it is
All right.
important for brands going forward and for the legacy?
Wow, that's absolutely such a brilliant question. I will do my best to answer it as quick as I can. But with brand building, I've really seen that at the end of the day, whether someone feels that they have a brand or not, we are all brands. So because a brand, I think in a nutshell, I would say it's a perception, how people experience you, how people interpret you, or how people understand you. So this can be an individual or an organization. And the beauty of you having control over the narrative that people have about you is that it gives you the ability to be able to sell an idea, get people to buy into your idea. Because at the end of the day, everyone on a daily basis, we are trying to get our message across to different individuals. And we are trying to say to people, I am the solution for that. So I would say brand building is sort of like you going out into the streets, holding up a placard and saying, hey, I'm looking for everybody who's wearing a red hat. And if you have a red hat, you've got to come to me. So it's almost like you are using your communication or yourself or your company to say to people, hey, I've got a solution for everybody who wears a red hat. So brand building is basically your ability to catch the attention of the kind of person that you have a solution for. So if your branding is not in place, how are people going to know the solution you offer? And how are people going to know that, hey, I'm the person that that person is looking for? So in a nutshell, you are building a perception that shows people, if you're a business, to say, I am the solution that you're looking for. And if you don't have branding, it's difficult for you to do that. And I can actually assure you, whether you believe it or not, it's like you walking around saying, look, I don't believe in oxygen, whatever, but it's there. It's what's keeping you alive. And for businesses, they may say, who cares about branding? Everybody cares about it. They just don't know sometimes that they're actually using it every single day and every single time.
Yeah, lovely. And thank you for that. And yeah, I totally agree with you. The importance and why that is so imperative for a business. And I always use the analogy of if someone were to think of a service, let's use accounting services as an example, or maybe it's tax season up and coming. If you have been building your brand
Yes.
on a consistent basis, then you will make it on that top. It's always I always talk about the top five, make it on that list that you have. And so people then go through
Uh-huh.
a process of elimination to think about who do I actually know that who is an accountant or a bookkeeper who can assist me with my books. So if you're doing brand building and you're doing it on a consistent basis and you're doing it effectively, your name will make it on that list. However, if you're not
Absolutely.
doing branding and building your brand, then it's going to be a bit challenging for consumers to actually find you.
Yeah, we'll never know. We'll never know that you actually have the answer to some of the problems that we have.
So, Tutsirai, tell me a bit about the trends that you see from a marketing perspective for this year. A lot is happening in the industry. There's a lot of
Mm,
changes from a technology perspective. There's all this talk
mm,
about AI as well.
uh-huh.
So, what is it that you see that has maybe caught your eye for this year, and that you think that business owners and entrepreneurs should perhaps maybe take note of and should also implement going forward into their businesses for this year?
Awesome, awesome. You've already spoken about the one major area, which is AI. And I find it so funny. Anytime you mention AI, especially in Africa, it's like you've said a taboo word. Everyone is panicking, And
Yeah.
I totally understand them because I think when it initially started, I tried to turn a blind eye, like whatever. I'm not even going to get into that. Why y'all bringing robots? Why y'all bringing things that want to take our jobs, right? And we all got into this sort of like panic, like what is this AI thing? Like why are we even going that direction? But I can assure you, I think just breathe in and out and accept that AI is here and it's actually technically here to stay because most of the businesses and the things that we are seeing, the trends that we are seeing, most of it is actually being produced through AI. So I think if I would say to businesses right now, I would say African businesses just embrace it, don't fight it, don't panic, but I would encourage you to learn more about it and bringing it into your into your world actually to be able to do the various marketing that you want to do because there's a lot of AI happening in marketing as we speak. But what I would say is as a business, because a lot of people say, is it not a problem? Is it, how is it going to work? Is it even something that we should get involved in? I would say the biggest thing I've seen is the businesses that are going to get ahead is also the businesses who understand how to prompt it, how to prompt your AI. I've seen a lot of people who use AI even on social media. I've seen clients who use AI on me to say they want me to work on something, and when they do their briefs, they create it in AI and send it to me. But the challenge I've seen with that is sometimes when you don't know how to prompt your AI, you find yourself getting stuck in this generic, um, almost like generic speech and tone that's now been happening, where everyone thinks, okay, who needs a marketer? Who needs someone who knows what they're doing? Let's just ask AI and begin to do what what it's come up with. But for me, what I've seen is I still think that we all, to make it right now in 2025, still put your ideal client at the center of everything. Because when you create marketing strategies, when you create marketing solutions with your ideal client at the center of it, what you'll find is you're going to remain relevant as a brand, right? Because whatever your pain points, your clients' pain points are, whatever your market's frustrations are at that particular time, if you as a brand learn how to understand those pain points and keep them front and center of every solution you're bringing into your market, you will remain relevant. So I'll give you an example. You may have brands that are working right now, and when they came out, when we're in COVID, it really made sense because a lot of us were in closed doors. And you do find that some areas as well, people are getting back into that because it's just a lot of things that are uncertain right now. But if you find when we were all on lockdown, a lot of people had a lot of time on their hands. They were indoors, they were at home, and brands that had the ability to give people a solutions to connect while they had so much time on their hands did very well at that point in time. Brands that allowed people even to gift people at that particular time skyrocketed because everyone was at home and everyone was trying to find a way to show their affections to people who are around the world, right? So those brands did very well. But then these brands, there was a bit of a change when we all came out again, right? When we all came out again, we were trying to learn how to interact again. We were on the go again. And currently, right now, people are, time in general is people are so busy. Everybody's trying to get things done. And you'll find that brands that are pushing the convenience card right now are doing well. But when you attach your solutions to what clients currently need right now, even your marketing strategies. Right now, when you look at the marketing strategies, you don't want to have anything that's going over your 3 seconds because people are on the go. They want to get quickly what you're all about and understand it within those 30 seconds, right? Because they're moving on to the next thing. There's a lot that is being channeled to people right now on social media, online, and you've got to be able to, at that point in time, catch the attention of your ideal clients, show them that you're the solution that they require, and get to reel them in. So AI is great, but I would encourage people currently right now to know how to prompt their AI. What do you have an understanding of what your brand brings as a solution? And then do you have an understanding of how to prompt your AI so that when it gives you feedback, it's giving you something that works for what you're trying to create or the solution you're trying to bring to the market. So when you don't learn how to prompt your AI, how to give them the correct inputs so that when it gives you the output, it sounds exactly like what your brand wants. If you don't know how to do that, you're gonna begin to have marketing campaigns that are so generic, right? that you'll find anyone else can find it anywhere else because they've all put it in the AI in that same way. So I would encourage businesses right now, yes, get on board on AI, but learn the prompts. How do you prompt your AI so that whatever solutions it's bringing you, it's really connected well to the solution you want to bring, and it's connected well to what your own clients' pain points are. Because if you're at the center, if your ideal client is at the center of every solution you are creating, you're going to remain relevant. So I would say that one thing, if that is the major thing I can say to people, is get to a point where your marketing and your business solutions is centered around what your ideal client is all about, which means you must take time to understand your ideal client and see what it is that you actually want to sell to them and show them that you've got them at the center of all the products that you're creating currently.
I love that.
That was a
And
long.
no, that was no, but that was amazing, and I like that because once again, it reminds me and us that no matter what technology comes forth, no matter how things evolve, and how
Yeah.
the world changes, we still need to, as entrepreneurs and business owners, think about our client and identify what are the needs of our client, whether you are using AI, whether you are not using
That's
AI, identify the need of the client and tailor a solution according to that. So I love that explanation that you've given. And so there's so much that you are involved in, that I've seen, obviously, through our connections on LinkedIn and through the posts. Is there something that is on your radar for the year ahead? Is there something that you're really focusing on? So share a bit with us in terms of what is coming up next for you in this year ahead.
awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much. The first one we've already spoken about is AI, so I won't really get have to talk about that one more. But for me right now, I have been looking in terms of like for Africa, how can we actually use AI for it to make sense for our continent, for it to make sense for our ideal clients, what their pain points are, because you'll find that AI, it's great, but most of the time, like a simple thing, if I were to say my name or say any of another African individual's name and ask AI to write it or spell it back, it's quite an interesting. It's something that you'll find that AI is not so well versed as yet when it comes to the African demographic. So I am getting, involved in maybe assisting that process of how we can actually make AI work for us. How does AI find its relevance in Africa? Because there's still some areas where you can see it's not as well versed. And of course, with how AI works is they want a lot of information in, right? For it to be able to become more relevant and productive for a certain demographic. So I think Africa, it would be great for us to, start actually adding onto the narrative so that AI actually makes sense for us and is the actual solution for us. So those are some things I'm getting involved in. And of course, digitalization is still big for Africa. I know, like personally, in Zimbabwe, still people are trying to jump on board with understanding just digitalization in general for the basics, for the things we're working on, for the everyday operations we do. I think we've done very well when it comes to, just everybody actually settling and getting okay with digital money and having all these different ways that we can digitalize our banking systems, etc. We've done well, pretty well there, I would say. But I think it would be great to now move on to our different government systems and so forth, where everything does genuinely become digitalized, because you'll find people will say, yeah, we're going digital. You input all your information, but when we get to the actual facilities, when we walk into the actual offices, there's still a lot of manual things that are still happening. So you register for an event, you get to the event, and there's still registration that's manual. So it's like, okay, but we registered online, so should it not follow through to the events that we have? So that's also something that I am looking into, to say, if we're going to say we are moving into digitalization, there must be the follow through. If I've registered, I would love to get to an event in Zimbabwe and I'm just being given my lineage with my name on, all the details that I registered online, rather than starting the manual process again at the event. So it's almost like I would love just for there to be a seamless flow from online to you getting to the event, that there is that wonderful connection that actually shows that digitalization took place. And of course, another heartbeat of mine is young people. And this is looking at, there are just a few projects that I will be getting involved in, where we really break down in terms of brand building, the brand building culture in our nation, so that people take it seriously, like what you were saying earlier, Lucian, to just say, you have found, while you're in your industry, there are still some people who don't quite get the idea behind branding, or maybe the why behind branding, or the power behind branding. And for people to understand as well that when it comes to digitalization, we've also got to find you online. But when we do find you online, what is the digital footprint you're leaving behind, right? So you can say to people, yeah, I'm going digital, this is what I'm about. But when we come online, is there an actual footprint that really highlights what you want to be known for, that really highlights where are the areas you can assist in, so that should people, like what you were saying earlier, should they look for you, can they find you in the correct area that you profess to be? Is there a big enough digital footprint? Is there a big enough are you feeding the algorithm enough for them to be able to see, like, okay, Tutsirai says it's all about brand building, but when we search her name, is that what's actually popping up? So yeah, I think in a nutshell, my year is really looking like that. And of course, because of the event space as well, brand building does get into the event space. And I'm excited to be partnering with quite a few people who are pushing events around AI, around digitalization, and around Africa understanding the power and the importance of brand building. And of course, last year I also got really involved in something pretty exciting, where I managed to really take a look at where we really are as Africa when it comes to brand building. I mean, internationally, if you look at brands like Coca-Cola, if you look at your brands like, Coca-Cola, Apple, these are brands that have made such large names for themselves, KFCs of this world, wherever, Nike of this world, where when you look at them internationally, their names come up internationally to say these are the biggest brands of all times. But when I did some research last year to just check if we do have some African brands that are rising up on those top 100 brands in the whole world, you do sometimes then find that there aren't that many African brands that get named on there. So it's also something I've been getting involved in, to just say, look, what does it take to get African brands on those top 100 list of top brands that are affecting the entire world? So that's something that I'm also feeding into, and helping African brands to be positioned the right way for us to mention them on such international platforms. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, Tutsirai. Thank you so much. Wonderful insights there that you shared today with me. And there's so much that I can see that you're involved in and that you are part of for this year ahead, that you're really wanting to focus on. I wish you all the best with that. And obviously, we will
Thank
still remain in contact in terms of our relationship. But thank you so much for your time today on marketing in the present. Really appreciated the insights shared in your knowledge and your expertise. And really
Awesome.
looking forward to continuing to see what you will be doing in Africa and also globally in the world.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rushan. I honestly appreciate your time as well. And thank you for always reaching out, and definitely will definitely continue the relationship. And I look forward to many more partnerships and collaborations in the future.